Hello! Welcome to our first match. First up, we've got BerGerr Is THE Support on the left-hand side, the blue team, and the red team is Tater Tots and Sweet. Are you excited? What are we looking for? Oh gosh, we already got bans, actually.
I watched Tater Tots play. I
Okay,
think
okay.
I don't remember if they won or lost, but I think
You watched them do something. Well,
I do. Yeah, that was something. The games were almost like 1 hour, 30 minutes plus. There's so
nice.
many things you can remember.
Right. Okay,
But
so first
I,
up, we've got an all-around ban coming out of BerGerr Is THE Support. All-around just recently became available to play in Ranked, and as such, recently available to play in the SLL. And he's a scary dude. I don't blame him for banning him. I don't wanna deal with that.
what you mean? He looks cute. You can't just call
Yeah, but
somebody cute
I don't
scary.
I don't want to fight into the unknown. I'm guessing teams haven't scrimmed against him very much, and I just want to leave that off the table. Uh,
Yeah.
the
Do you think
uh,
this German will go to mid?
Ooh, wait, I'm not there yet.
Feel like,
Shh, we're still at bans.
oh, oh shit.
On the red team side, they respond with the Merlin ban, another pretty kind of classic thing. Even with his nerfs in the most recent patch, this is played on the current most recent patch, as you can tell. From the 3 bans per team for the first phase, Merlin sucks. Scotty also. Scotty got a lot of changes. Isis,
Yeah.
Nike, all of these bans are all of the things that got changed a lot in the most recent patch, or, not enough if we're talking about all around.
Yeah.
So,
Don't you love a wolf dog jumping at you? It's fun, right?
first pick out of the blue team is Jormungandr. Sweet was saying, maybe this could go mid. I don't know. We've seen Yorm mids, we've seen Yorm solos already this season, so it could go anywhere. It could be Yorm support. Please God no, but maybe. Tater Tots responds by picking up Thoth and Erlong Shen. Thoth just got a buff for this patch, and it's a big one. He's very strong. I'm interested to
Yeah.
see how the SL players play around him. The new change allows him to basically do more damage for hitting consecutive shots of his one. It's very strong. I don't know.
Very strong. And they
And
locked in last one. I don't know if you're seeing it, but they locked in Naja, which I'm sure will
yes,
go to support.
yeah, yeah. We've got
And
enough.
for the BerGerr,
Hmm.
is he the support that plays Naja? You would know.
I don't know. I have no clue. And then we've got the
Oh,
Kronos. Kronos we've seen a couple times already. Actually, maybe you haven't seen him yet. He's in the next match you're gonna watch. But Kronos is pretty strong. And he's done well in the SL matches I've seen with him in it. That's for sure.
yeah. I don't know if you're seeing this, but Tater Tots locked in Zongque.
Let me lead the bands. You're ahead of me.
She. All right. Anyway,
You're okay. So we're waiting.
if
We're waiting.
people know, yeah,
I
if
think
people would know,
I think it would be great to see Tater
uh
Tots
huh.
pick up a Jean-Qui though. Jean-Qui is very tanky and
Uh huh.
very scary. I am terrified of Jean-Qui. I don't know about you, but big fat man running at me with a bunch of ghosts flying at my face, I'll pass.
Yeah.
And
I
there
don't want to get
is
in no man's sack.
there is that Jean-Qui. Let's see where we're gonna go for bans next. Um, the team Tater Tots, who's got the first ban for the second phase, is gonna go for a Geb ban. So they're not seeing the Naja in the support role. It looks like they're playing it safe, and they're assuming that it's Yorm solo and Naja jungle, which could be possible. Recent changes to Naja have pushed him back towards jungle a little bit more. Maybe not that much, but
Hmm.
enough. And team BerGerr Is THE Support has responded with a Hachiman ban. And Athena also from Tater Tots. And we're going very fast on these bans, y'all. I can't talk this fast. So Athena and Geb are both definitely very strong guardians, and Jingwei. So we're just following in the same back and forth. Let's see what pick up Horus. We're hovering Horus. Are we gonna lock it in though?
We're
Oh,
locking it in.
there it goes. Okay, Horus. I don't. Have we seen much of that? Have you seen him in any of the matches you've casted? I
Not yet, but in ranked for sure. I
okay.
don't know how they'll play this out
Yeah,
here,
I think
but
this
I
is gonna
think
be
it's a good
interesting.
combo, right?
Horus
Yeah, with
is
the Horus
Horus dropping a
against.
Jean-Qui ult down is gonna be big, and they don't have anything like. Well, Cronus can ult away, Yorm could ult away in theory, But they don't have anything that can run away from that Horus circle super easily. So they could
Mm-hmm.
potentially get a drop on the other team. Let's see
Yeah, for
what
sure.
BerGerr Is the Support picks up to
Ooh,
respond to
you're
this
gonna love
Horus.
this draft from
Oh,
BerGerr, the support.
oh, am I?
Upcoming. Yeah, it's really spicy
Oh,
for SLL level.
Humbats.
Mm-hmm.
And the Morrigan.
Ooh, don't you see that synergy? Don't you love
I
getting hit by two
uh, uh,
Humbots ults
I'm
at
gonna
once?
I'm gonna tell you right now that the EU match you're about to watch after this one has some of that action, and it is spice. um, One thing that I just looking at Team Burgers the supports draft though I see is that they're not super tanky. If the Yorm is, I'm assuming, going solo, and he's gonna build like a hybrid build. He'll definitely have some tank, but he's ginormous. He's easy to hit. Naja, even if he builds super tanky, they're pretty squishy on that side. I'm interested to see how Tater Tots responds to that because Zhonghui, Erlong, Thoth, they can all do a number to your health bar pretty quickly and run you down. See
Mm-hmm.
what
I
our
agree
last
that too.
pickup on Tater Tots team is. Come on, God.
I think that's it.
I don't know what I want to see out of them though. They need a hunter, but
Yeah.
who?
I'll give you a hint.
Shh!
He likes
Don't!
flying around.
No! Shut up!
I'm just hinting. I'm just
Go ahead,
kidding.
sweet. Okay, they grabbed an Apollo. I think Apollo
I'm just.
is a good choice
Uh-huh.
here. With the Horus and the Apollo, they have a lot of opportunities to drop in on a team. Even if
Mm-hmm.
Apollo's on the other side of the map and the rest of the team is in one spot, they can all converge in one location with between the Horus ult and the Apollo ult, which is pretty powerful. I really hope we see them taking advantage of that. A lot of the times with Horuses in games, you don't see people taking advantage of that ult because it takes a lot of team coordination. But hopefully they can make it work. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see. And yep,
Interest.
Team BerGerr is the support has put BerGerr on the Naja, so it's definitely a Naja support. SweetCold, what do you think going into this draft? Who do you think? Which draft do you like better? Who do you think is?
Honestly, I don't know if the people who watched like me cast before are here, but my bias is towards Dong Quay. I love him.
Mm,
So his
uh,
team just wins straight out.
we have a clip of
But
that.
all right, unfortunately, that was clipped. I'm such a shame. Okay, but the Morrigan and Humbas could be also deadly if they're coordinated and well off, like play off of each other
Yep,
back to back.
I agree.
Without beats, Todd is kind of vulnerable to that combo,
Mhm.
and he might be prone to going down.
Yep,
I'm excited to go into this match.
yeah, Thoth and Zhonghui could be pretty vulnerable to that, and Erlong too. They all don't have CC in their CC immunity in their alts, so that could be pretty potent. So we're
Hmm.
gonna take a short break as we go get ourselves set up into this game, but I am very excited to see what goes down.
You can hear that excitement right there. Mm-hmm. This horror support. I don't know. I don't like the start though. I usually like the chalice, but I guess like fighting against this high pressure Indonesia, you usually get poked, so I'm into the Hussein. But mhm.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, for sure. And what I'm seeing is already right off the bat, like Zhonghui does not need this many health pots in solo lane, and I feel like it's a late waste, and it's better off he invested in some mana. Yeah. And seems like the BerGerr support is doing the start where they put the support in the solo lane and leaving the ADC completely alone, thus pressuring them. I don't think they will even get to pressure this, will they? I think they should be able to get this buff real quick. Yeah. Yeah, the start is supposed to make the ADC like gain more XP and levels in general, and try to put them ahead and get them prepped for mid game in terms of getting items and make them more prominent compared to like your junglers and mid laners being prominent. They want to make the ADC as prominent as well. Mhm. I don't know. BerGerr and the support had one job to secure that blue buff, so it's that XP is kind of like in the favor of Tater Tots because they got the enemy blue, sorry, enemy purple and their own. So far they have. Yeah, but surprisingly they're ahead of gold. A little, even if it's a little bit. I don't know how they managed it, but it's just BerGerr. Oh, Blink Erlang on the side in mid lane. Will this Humbas hit the floor? I think so. I think he'll get caught out here. Yeah, first blood. Ooh, BerGerr comes in with the blink. This ultimate support play and this Morrigan just peeling the Humbats off. Yeah,
We get ahead in time.
yeah. You hate to see a Morrigan. You don't want a Morrigan ahead. I'll tell you that much.
Your
Yeah.
future looks bleak.
Yeah, for sure. And this Foreman. Mm-hmm. Put a late game character ahead, even earlier than supposed to be. It's good. Yeah, for sure. Along with it, now Tot has no beads because he had to expend it in the mid fight. So Morgan hit 5 here. Yeah, Morgan hit 5. They have a power play potential here to make sure the Todd gets his number 2 death on the board. But will they actually do it? Is the real question. Are they keeping track of timers?
Looks bleak.
I think they're gonna collapse on the Morgan in the middle lane here. Will she get caught off? Let's see here the action. Will she get caught off? Nah, she stalls away. Too good. Sneak the red out of there. Jungle is a little bit ahead on Tater Tots' side. Hambas just hit 4. That means his ultimate is gonna come up a little later than usual. But At least they have it. Yeah, and then he has to stop his farm. But at least the Morgan has the Humbat sold, right? She got it. She's gonna cover it for him, even though it's later.
Your future looks bleak.
I think the power play on Tata is over here because, you know, the beads are up. See, but nonetheless, they're playing a relatively safe game. Just Tater Tots just end up doing a mistake there by being so aggressive early. But Morgan is looking to engage in mid lane here, and the stun connects. Will they actually commit to this? Not really. It's just a poke trade. Yeah, it's a poke. Oh, that Horus. That's a play like me. I would do it. This assert dominance. I was just like, you stun me? I'm gonna dash you. See, even if I don't hit it, that's how I do it. You know, you just assert dominance. Anyway, here you can see the like the BerGerr and the support team is grouping up around the jungle of Tater Tots, trying to.
Cannot comprehend us.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Erlang is doing a really good job keeping this blue buff for the Zong, because without the blue buff in solo lane, it's really hard to survive because he's kind of mana intensive early until he gets his cooldown boots. Erlang is looking to engage in middle lane. Will the engage be successful? Humbat Souls comes out and the thought, oh, doesn't connect, and I can. Oh no, what is happening? Windfire Wheels hit, but will they actually get the kill? Erlang is gonna hit the floor. Will he? No, the root connects on the Morgan. He slithers away. Apollo gets stunned on the entrance, and the Tater Tots barely survives that fight along with it and gets away with murder in a way. Mm-hmm. Let me cut you off here. Apollo is trying to invade the red buff, and he might pay the price for being too greedy. And will he actually go down? Or Horus will save him? I think Horus might hit the floor because of this. Nah, I think... Yeah, Cronus got that. There's no way he's dropping the kill. But that was so greedy by Tater Tots. You can't go in like this. Yeah, you cannot go in like that without vision, or your team members being surrounding you. Like, this is a game... You do this type of plays in casuals when you want to flex on people, and in a calm setting, you can't really do it because everyone is listening to each other, and they always have like a location mind map in their head all the time. So knowing where the enemy team is, being one person being out of position is really easy to understand, like with a full comms team, and take advantage of it. So that's what happened to Apollo. He went straight down. Yeah, go for it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In the middle lane, and a blink comes in by the Erlang, and he ult hits into the Naja and Morgan. I think Morgan might hit the ground, but he will stealth right out of there, and the engagement is come to us all. Oh, Apollo is ulting. Will he actually get the Morgan? He went the other way. Wrong direction, bro. The other side. Alright. Cronus is not fighting. A level 8 Apollo, he's trolling. Like, straight up. Where is he going? Come back, bro! Alright. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. And from what I'm seeing, like a recurring theme here by Tater Tots is that Erlang is looking to play super aggressive in a way, but his team is kind of not in that same page. And early game, that's what you're supposed to do as Erlang, because your tankiness, and even though he got kind of the nerf on his one, because he was too strong, but either way, he's prominent enough to like put out that early damage, and his team should look to help him capitalize on possible damage. You don't have to really kill the enemy, you see? Like, if you can back them off, you can do an objective. So, like, and it's... Or, I don't know about that, Morgan. Okay, wrapping around in the back end. Hambas is gonna ult. They know that Thought has no beats here, and he hits the ground. Easy. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. If Morgan just stayed invis... Oh. Here comes Erlang and Blink ulted. The Morgan, I think Morgan will die here along with... Ooh, the ult. And Apollo is looking to dive the support under... Oh, and he blinks out! Does not get hit by the pin either. That was a very awkward engagement. As soon as Apollo hit the ult, like, you know the Nasha is distracting looking to juke, right? So the Erlang should look to hit the pin while he's kind of distracted. Probably it was on cooldown. That's why he didn't do it. But either way, two good ults are expended, in a way. And Thought doesn't have to worry about spending his beats anymore to a Nasha possible ult. Ooh, the ring toss. BerGerr never missed these ring toss. It's like all hitting all of it. Ooh. That was weird. I think Nasha will die here because of his greed. Ow! The ult. Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Morgan has some beats now in the lane. They should look to like... I'm pretty sure they didn't really track of it, but things like that, the mid laners beads and carry beads are kind of important to keep the relics to keep track of, because yeah, they're the part of the team they do the heavy lifting in a way. They do the damage. So taking them out early in a fight would be the most essential thing, or put them behind. So trying to...
Only fools follow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, only the Erlang, most of his initiations happen through Blink, Knockup, and the Root, and so those are the main beads burners. But here, usually, in a higher level setting, the Horus usually takes Blink. And oh, here we can see a sneaky attempt on the Gold Fury will actually... Ooh, here comes... and gets killed. And BerGerr. Yeah, the gold goes down. That was a sneaky Gold Fury attempt. I didn't even see it myself. It was but they had to pay the ultimate price for people for that. Yeah. Yeah, and 3 members. Yeah, will Kronos get the kill here? Ooh, Herling heals up barely, I think. Ooh, and gets up the rewind. Apollo is doing the normal split push. He got the map opened up after the 3 deaths from BerGerr the support. And that gave them the objective. So basically, the gold they got... Yeah, the gold they got equalized through the means of the tower. And the Apollo is now getting chased, knowing his ult is down. Excellent 3-man stun by the Kronos, and Todd is charging the ult. Will he actually go forward? Nah, I think they're backing off. That's it. That's the fight. Everybody's dispersed. Yeah. That's this.
3 days ahead in time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tater Tots solo laner is just warding every nook and cranny. Like, you know what? Like, Zonkwe is one of the hardest supposed to gank, and I don't think, in my personal opinion, like, Humbats can easily kill him unless he's below the 0.5% threshold. Maybe a Bakasura can kill, for example, because of the true damage that he can deal. But other than that, like, later into the game, both of the solo laners are going to be hard to kill and probably will have a great impact more later into the team fights when they have 5v5s. So I can't wait to see when they're a part of the team eventually. But so far, Clown Fiesta, not a Clown Fiesta, that's not what I meant to say. Farming Fiesta, that's what I want to say. Yeah. No Clown Fiestas this time, so it's surprising. Usually the first game, the first 10 minutes, is always, it goes south. I don't know what happens to teams, but this one is pretty controlled. Yeah, the training is paying off, right? The scrims have been working. Teams are getting solid. They know how to play the early now. And Todd has the beads and get out of there. And he heals back up. That's how it is. Nothing. But they know the Todd beats them.
Killing spree.
Ooh. You can see the Kronos just standing still. He's like, bro, I told you not to go. Why you went? And he died. And knowing, if you remember, in the beginning of the game, he was 2 levels up the Kronos a little while ago. Oh, Nasha, instead of ulting in, he ulted out, and Thought is charging ult. It seems like it's that fight. And Apollo is rotating on the side. They might pressure this mid tower, get that, and go pyro. Yeah, it seems like so. Nasha is gonna die here. Nice. Yeah, for sure. He got greedy. Yeah, he was like, the Todd beats are down. I'm gonna go in. But you can't do that, right? You need to make sure your team is around. So in case, like, Humbats was there. If Humbats was there to blink all that, that would have been a perfect case scenario for BerGerr. And yeah, but he decided to do that impulsively. And those things, as I said, doesn't work out during comms. Like, you can't even do this in normal games. You'll get punished either way. So those are little small things that you can look to fix. Oh, this Erlang soul lane, but I don't know what Erlang was thinking. Trying to gank a Jorm, but let him do him. It's alright. Yeah, they're looking to gank him. Yeah, Tater Tots should be careful on this oncoming fight. A blink started on by Nasha and gets stunned. And Horus gets isolated. Yeah, so
Your future looks bleak.
BerGerr gets the kill after the stun connecting. Apollo is looking to get another kill, but ooh. And Morgan hits it on. Yeah. There were too many Apollos flying, I couldn't comprehend what was happening. But that fight was really awkward. Tater Tots knew they were rotating, like straight up. They should have known, at least had an instinct, that they would come over to gold. because they took it last time they had the timer, and Kronos had vision on 3 of them. So instead of backing off, they decided to continue it. If they dropped it completely, maybe the Tot could have secured it, but in a way, the Tot's ult kind of helped BerGerr with the Nasha ring toss to, I think that's what stole the Gold Fury. Yeah, okay. I'm sticking. Yeah, see? Alright. But that Tot ult definitely did a number on it, but along with it, they should have been much more aware. You can't just start a Gold Fury without warding around, and at that moment when they started, they didn't have much. Speaking of, now Horus is isolated here, and he dashes into. I think he'll be just fine, but Apollo dashes in and they're running. Will they? Ah, they're just gone. They're run. Yeah. Yeah. That was. Mm-hmm. For sure. And speaking of the gold that you usually get to buy items, I'm surprised that they are actually going for the newer items. I see Contagion on Horus, and I see the Fail Not on the ADC. These, like, even some people who play the game like for a long, regularly for a long time now, they're still uncomfortable building some of these newer items. But seeing into them, uh-huh, it's yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Ooh, he dove too deep, and he's gonna just sneak out of there. But that said, like the contain, yeah, he's just gone out of here. But has no, as I was saying, like the contagion is good because like Nasha is the one who heals from. Oh, speaking of the spike,
Shut down.
oh Apollo, yeah, forced it again.
We gaze ahead in time.
Yeah, it's all over the place. They're going. Oh, Nasha hits the ult on two, and Morgan is ready on the ground with the Humbat's ult, and actually Todd goes down. Will they be able to clean up these both tanks in a way? I don't think so. I think they'll have to run. Bezek is suspended by the Morgan. Will if she doesn't use, yeah, she's gone. Yeah, it's a smack happening, and nothing much is gonna happen. But Erlang might actually get the kill. No. Yeah. And I have another. This. Oh.
Your future looks bleak.
I think so. It might be. Oh. And also for free. I'm seeing the staff of Merlin on Zonkwe. What do you think of it? Mm-hmm.
Not comprehend us.
Ooh, old. Yeah, Zonkwe is pretty lit. But speaking of, here, Zorm is looking to make an entrance, but Hambas just ults to get some distance and jumps out of the fight. And Zorm's ults in to check into the Gold Fury, but they're in. This whole fight is so separated. Yeah. Yeah, and the Naja hits the ult on Zhonghui, zoning everybody out of his ult, but Naja will die here because of that. Oh, and actually, Thought hits an ult, I think. Right? It's the first ult he hits. Frog. Yeah, he did it. He carried. But it was in favor of Tater Tots
Days ahead
at the
in
end.
time.
Yeah, because Big Rom or the Humbas were making the entrance from the bottom. What you call it? Left side. Yeah, left side of the jungle or the mid path thing, and he got caught out. He was almost 0 health when the fight even before it began. So it was already a 4v5 in favor of Tater Tots, and obviously because of that number difference in a way, and a big ultimate such as Humba's impactful for BerGerr, right? To make some sort of thing happen for him. This time, which was used defensively and instead of it being there offensively, Tater Tots just took that fight. Super easy. Easily, at least. Oh, they're pinging the wards in the map. It's nice. At least they know. Take them out.
So, guys, I just realized that you haven't been hearing me this whole time. Sorry about that. Now you can hear me.
Oh no, you guys didn't hear Meg's casting?
Y'all, I've been
Such
given some hot gas, and I haven't.
Dude, that was lit. You guys, you missed out, guys. Such a shame.
It.
Oh, Hambas jumps in into the Zonkwe. That was not the best idea, my dude. He's out of there. Oh, Apollo is split pushing. What a mad lad. Airline jumps in and ults into two people. Will Jorm get out? He barely gets out with the feet, and Zonkwe walks in with the Zonkwe was bossing around into them and he got bopped.
Yeah, Zhonghui with the big ult. He was hoping for big plays, but Zhonghui doesn't have tons and tons of tank built this game. Naja getting poked out by this Erlong, and Yorm is up there living the Jormungandr life.
Wait, didn't he ult just now in the fight?
I think
or
that
am I high?
He did. I'm confused.
Wait, did he just ulted the okay, anyway.
I swore I saw a Yorm ult, but
yeah.
okay. Morgan didn't turn it. Oh, there we go. Oh boy. Morgan falls. Apollo's down 2 to the Jormungandr.
BerGerr kicks up 2 kills.
Let's see.
I think they're just gonna chase this Cronus around, but he has his ult still, so there's no point in it. But Horus might hit the ground here. Support fight. Very fun to watch. Like smacking babies.
Thoth falls, but the Naja gives up his pursuit of the Horus. If he had stuck to that Horus a little better, he could have waited for his team to come around and take the kill. But instead they were going to just push down this mid tower, which is probably worth more at this point. They won't be able to push the tier 2 though, it looks like, with the Zhonghui showing up. Zhonghui does have ult backup, so that's a force to be reckoned with. I don't want to mess with that. I don't know about you.
More nigger. Oh no, that's
no.
Wait, how do you say no? Oh no! Oh shit! His name is stupid. Okay. Anyway, the Apollo is being a mad lad and just pushing down towers. Okay, it's annoying to deal with. So
yeah, he's pushing both the towers on the right side. The name is Meginator. Sweet. We are the SL does not condone such language.
I didn't say it. I was literally reading it out. Then I realized, oh damn.
Yes.
That's a shame.
It's
okay, moving on.
That didn't happen.
Technical difficulties. I lagged. It sounded different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Microphone lag.
Yeah.
Back to this game here. It's still relatively even though. Let's look at the graphs here. It does look like it's in the favor of BerGerr Is THE Support, but it's a pretty actually sizable lead. The kills don't seem to say that as much, but they have pushed down quite a few towers.
Yeah, BerGerr Is THE Support got like 2 gold furies in their favor, so they have.
True. That's very true. Tater Tots takes that Pyromancer more or less uncontested. BerGerr Is THE Support is here, but it looks like they're looking to contest a Fire Giant, not a Pyromancer.
This time, the Morgan is the split pusher, and she's like completely going. And they back Thoth for that.
Thoth is back, but
just because I don't understand. Like most of the times, this happens when they see the same laner type people backing. They just make them back. For example, if the mid laner is pushing, they let the mid laner back. But it's not
Morgan's
necessarily
caught
the
out
Phoenix.
here. Erlong Shen
Yeah.
also showed up to punish her.
Ooh, she gets
Thoth
hit
is.
by the ult.
Oh, she transforms into
Ooh,
Apollo, but isn't
Apollo.
able to get out fast enough.
Too late. Such a
Apollo,
shame.
the Apollo. Oh, now we're fighting on the right hand side. God dang it.
Oh, this.
Zhonghui with a
They
big
have a
ult,
numbers advantage. They just
but the
definitely fight.
Naja ult pulling him up into the air.
I don't know how
Zhonghui
Nasha got
is
will
down.
hit down.
And
Horus also might looks
next.
like he's gonna go down.
And
Ooh,
Erlong.
I don't know about this.
This
Blink
Thoth
in
ult
the
is charging,
turtle
but Thoth is out of range. He was so dead
Unfortunate.
set on getting that ult off, but he
That
didn't
was
bother to move any closer. That was a big
really
wipe
bad.
there. They could
Bad
go for. Looks
engagement.
like they're gonna go for Fire Giant. Thoth has blown his ult too, so he can't come in to seal or confirm. That's
Yeah, no,
that's unfortunate.
that's what you call a yikes.
Yeah, Morgan fell, and 2 people were distracted enough to go back and get the Morgan off that Phoenix.
Yeah, that
And
fight
the-
just led them into the. And in Han's fire, right? After 30 minutes.
That was
Yeah.
big. He's pink, and I love him, and that was pretty crazy. And now they're gonna take this tier 2 tower, and they're gonna push.
They'll probably push for Phoenix. There's nothing to lose for them. They should go for it.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, I'm back! Big trolls. Okay, anyway.
Well,
They
almost
should.
all the players on Team Tater Tots
Yeah,
are coming
are
back up.
so-
I don't
and they were
blame them.
Yeah,
They
I
weren't-
don't blame them too harshly.
They weren't
either.
necessarily low, but I don't want to fight a Zhonghui ult. I don't know about you.
Yeah, me too. I don't
Fun
want to
fact
be
about-
against one.
Fun fact about Meg, I am terrified of Zhonghui, and I play very poorly into Zhonghuis. Even in matchups where I should win against a Zhonghui and I don't
Mhm.
get along. So, I'm not gonna
I
fight a
don't know, you-
Zhonghui if there's one on the other team, man.
If you
No
don't
thanks.
embrace that thickness, right? That's why there's a disconnect. I feel like you need to embrace it. Then you will be better as a player. I did. So I would not say I'm the most top class player, but I do fairly decent. It's easy. I mean, it's not easy, but it's easier if you embrace it. I think. Now they're grouping up in the middle lane to push this last standing tower. Jorm is split pushing, but he can easily make his way over with that teleport. Although I don't agree, I want the whole team pushing together.
Right, well, and
I
your
don't like
teleport isn't upgraded either, so he can't go to a ward. He can't actually get there as
Ooh.
easily. I'm really
Nice.
not agreeing with him being over there all alone.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I don't like this Tater Tot positioning. They're positioning kind of aggressively
into a
their
team that
team.
has the Fire Giant, the enhanced Fire
Exactly.
Giant. I don't want to fight that.
I don't
Looks
want
like
either.
Morgan's splitting off though, and she's gonna go over to try and help Yorm. Now,
Morgan is gonna get caught out here in between 2 red players. She's
but
gonna
she just
swoop
sneaks away. And blue team dives in on that tower, and they're really focusing the tower. Red team can't do much to
Right.
peel them off.
Oh, the monkey ult comes in. BerGerr gets the kill. Still has the ultimate connects. I think he got the kill from the ult.
Jormungandr
red-
fell in the left lane though. Jormungandr can't really split push. His tower damage is non-existent, and he's more impactful in a fight. I'm really not sure why he was over there. So blue team's just gonna take this Primal Fury. Apollo's gonna try to ult over to it, but he is too late, and
Yeah,
he's
they
gonna
should-
turn right around.
They're probably looking to take this fight.
They're gonna
Well, I
try
don't think-
for this Morgan, but she's disappeared and gone.
Yeah. She's out of there. I don't know about this Jorm just trying to push and take a 1v1 fight with Apollo because
Well,
he's
it was a
certainly gonna lose it.
It was a 1v2. Erlong was over there also, actually.
Yeah, I think majority of it was a 1v1. Then when the fight got lost in the middle, then Erlang kind of rotated there.
Yeah,
What I'm
but-
trying to say is he doesn't even have Nemian or Midgardian to stop this auto attack enhancement, right? From
Yeah,
this
no,
Apollo.
That's yeah. I'm really
It's
not sure
weird.
what was going through his head there. I don't Yorm's not gonna split push a tower. Maybe his goal was to be a distraction, such that his team could push the mid tower, which did happen. But I don't think they necessarily needed it. I think they could have just dove the tower with 5 people, 4 of which had that enhanced Fire Giant, and gone for
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah, for sure.
I guess that's how they wanted to do it.
Yeah, I guess they wanted them to take the bait, but the Tater Tots didn't really fall for it, and they stood their ground at their tier 2 mid tower, and it worked out for them.
Yep.
So let's see what's the next plan BerGerr has. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do a sneaky jungle jump onto somebody.
I've got
Wouldn't
the
be surprised.
Pyromancer here, and they're backing off, trying to regroup for this next fight, where they'll probably pick a Phoenix and just run at it. Probably wait for the next Fire Giant first, actually, if I'm being honest.
Did you guys notice a speed buff timer on each side, like the
For the
BerGerr Is THE
Pyromancer?
Support team? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the new timer.
I love
For
that.
those who didn't know. Yeah.
I think
It looks
that
like the
is one
whole
of my
team.
that's one of my favorite features is from this new patch. It's something so simple, but you know how long the other team has that Pyromancer going, and your team knows how long it goes. Like prior to that, there wasn't any external readout that would tell you how long you had that buff on your fountain for. Morgan's over split pushing the left lane, but she's just gonna back and get out. No loss there.
I think a fight that were to break out there, and the majority of the team was going to come out with more players, is just going to straight up win the game. Here, because the timer is around, like, people are going to be gone for 60 seconds or more around this time, I think.
We see
So it's gonna be-
we see BerGerr Is THE Support's team trying to group around this Fire Giant, but only 2 are really proper at this Fire Giant pit. And back to ward coverage, we are really lacking on the ward coverage on this Fire Giant pit. Y'all, wards win games.
Listen to her, she's right. And I hope Tater Tots don't do the same mistake they did last time, engaging on outnumbered enemies. You usually do the opposite. If your team has the numbers, you look to take advantage of that and engage on the enemy, not vice versa. Not if like you have one.
All members of both teams are nicely grouped up here. It's all about who's gonna jump onto that Fire Giant first, or who's gonna get impatient and run out first. We're just
Pretty
waiting
much.
here.
They have to go back and forth. I don't know why they're not taking out this. Yeah, they should look to take out this wards.
Yep, they're having a bit of a ward fight here. Waiting to see who runs out of sentry wards first. But they're not doing anything. Y'all, Morgan's gonna go do what she did last time though. She's gonna try to split push and see if she can draw something away. Looks like Apollo is going a little, not quite. He went to go to head her off, but she noped out of there after pushing up that wave of minions. But she's away from the team now, so let's see.
2 carry characters, mid lane and ADC from each teams are away at this time.
BerGerr, the support, has also backed off and he's gone back to base. So now Tater Tots outnumbers Team BerGerr Is THE Support, and they could look to make a play here, but I'm not sure they're entirely aware that BerGerr has left.
I don't understand why they're putting this Morgan on a split push constantly. I know.
Well, I think the idea is that she can turn into Apollo and then leave.
Yeah, it wouldn't work if they also have Apollo on the same side defending.
Right.
But
Erlong has to burn his speeds there, but he gets out relatively scot-free other than that. Yeah. No one wants to take any risky chances here. No risky business here. We're just trying to get looks like we're just gonna continue warding back and forth. Oh, there goes Naja in. Ooh. He gets pinned.
Will Naja hit the ult? No, he should have ulted there like as soon as possible. Unfortunate there, but Naja takes half of his health bar, and 2 people, the Kronos and Hambas, get called out by the Zonkwe ult, and Kronos has to ult out of there. Well, she's gonna go back into enemy territory. They're gonna let him go, and it's gonna be a halt here. And will Jorm have to ult here? They're not really doing any damage to him. They should group up and just look to kill him, but they're backing off here.
That was a really sloppy, awkward fight on all parts. Naja went in there, he dove really hard, and his team wasn't really able to follow up because he went for someone who was a little too far on the backline for Kronos to get close enough. And Naja almost fell, and they spent a lot of time and a lot of effort trying to get the Naja out. And Kronos almost died too. He had to blow his ult, and he ulted back into the enemy team. The enemy team could have very well gone in on him again. Naja is still split pushing, but Tater Tots is pulling the Fire Giant. They've got a frenzy.
Ooh, they popped the frenzy. They're looking to burn this, but BerGerr's support team is getting into this pit. Would they actually do? They might contest this.
They could steal it with Yorm maybe, or Naja's
they're just waiting for the moment. I think this is very smart because Tater Tots are taking more than enough damage.
Tater Tots is backing out. But Morgan's coming
and Morgan comes around the backside. And did she actually go down?
Gone.
Unfortunate.
Too many of them there.
Transformed, like,
but BerGerr Is THE Support is taking on this Fire Giant, and Tater Tots manages to convert with the Thought ult though.
Thought hit an impactful ult, but
big Yorm ult, big Yorm ult. Double kill with that Yorm ult. That was
Kobe.
hot.
Yeah.
um,
Just smack 'em. I think BerGerr The Support just
BerGerr
wins
the
here
Support
because
took
the
2
number.
kills with that, and they did not confirm the fire giant, but
Yeah.
they did kill 3 people, and they
Mhm.
seriously injured the other 2.
I don't know why they were forcing this fire giant so much. Like it went into the favor of Tater Tots, but they end up they dying. It's so weird. BerGerr The Support team is just so lucky. I don't know. Like the
Yeah.
positioning just helps them. The Morgan is straight up carrying them, like giving leverage. But this Hambat's might hit the ground here. Ooh,
Kronos
okay.
is running down
Yeah,
the.
Kronos doing Kronos
Yeah,
damage.
we're at 40 minutes into this game. That's a scary late game Kronos, and they're just gonna
I
push down
think,
this Titan. And
yeah,
there
looks
it
like
goes.
it's game.
That last fire giant fight there was just really sloppy. We've had a lot of sloppy fights around these objectives these games, and that I think if Tater Tots had played those fights a little bit better, we could have seen a lot more success for them. Let's see how they do
Yeah,
going
for
into
sure.
this next game. But for now, BerGerr Is the Support is up 1-0 in this set. So let's see where we go next. What do you want to see out of Team Tater Tots in terms of, you know, what do they need to do next game to make sure that they don't have the same result?
Know the amount of damage you can actually take from the fire giant,
Mhm.
because a good support or solo would just understand the amount of damage they can take upon themselves to be bait, quote unquote. Along
Yeah.
with it, the Todd didn't really have peel. He had to most of the times. Yeah, most of the times, from what I've seen, is like he just gets dove to a billion and he doesn't really get any sort of or form of peel. And maybe a traditional support draft for Tater Tots can
Yeah,
help them.
I don't think Horus was working out. Horus has a fair bit of peel, but he's not got a lot, and he's not got I don't think they used the Horus ult once that game. That was my concern. Was the Horus ult, you gotta kind of line those stars up, and they just weren't getting it. I don't think. Did you see a Horus ult that
Yeah.
game? I didn't see a Horus ult
No,
that game.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it either.
Um,
Along with
almost.
it, the Kronos should have much more confidence. The boy is good, but he's just scared. He's not doing like typical. At certain points of the game, he could have been much more aggressive than he could have been.
Yep,
Like, would have been.
definitely around that 20-minute mark or so, he was still playing back. He was still kind of in lane, and he definitely could have been up more. I'm really interested in some of these builds on the Tater Tots team too. You were right. They did draft a lot of those newer items, and one thing for me, the Staff of Murden, I don't think it's necessarily a good all-around item. I think there's some characters it's better on than others, and I'm not sure how good it is on Thoth.
I think Thoth is the exception, in my opinion, that it's good. Because after the one, right? The one
Right.
got the buff as well.
Yep,
It
you can use
chunks.
her
So
one.
3 times. Yeah, 2
Okay.
times.
Okay, yeah,
So
I see it.
because the range, the 3, right? The range is up 2 for a while, and as long as you fire the ult with it, and you can use both times.
Okay.
So 6 times of your one shots, right?
Yep.
So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I
But
see
for
it.
characters like Hera, you kind of have to wait till
Yeah.
Argus completely dies, right? So it's kind of useless.
Right.
Even I see for Zonkwe too, it's a long time. The ult is a long time, right? It stays 6 seconds. So for the entire duration, you won't have that cooldown.
Yep.
But
Yeah, your
still, I
stuff is
love
gonna
him.
come back up by that point, especially when you have as
Yeah.
much cooldown built as the Zhonghui does. He's actually over
Yeah.
max cooldown.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep, 50%.
I would prefer to get the shield one. I forgot the name of it. I don't know
He
if
does
they
have
just didn't
Pridwin.
get it.
He actually does have Pridwin.
Yeah,
But I
Pridwin.
honestly am not entirely in love with the Pridwin on him either, because he's not got tons of tank built because he went the Staff of Murden, which he probably doesn't need. But
I
either
think
way,
he should have chosen one.
yeah. Either way, we're gonna cut for a short break here, play a little bit of an advertisement, and then we'll be back with our next game. See you
Pew
later.
pew.
Hey guys, Nick here, one of the founders of Oceanus Gaming. Just a little intro, quick video about ourselves and what we're all about. Shout out to the other 2 founders, Khan, aka Sean, and Alex, aka Theta Luno. Just a quick little video on everything that we're about, who we are, and the org. Shout out to the Smite guys as well, the Combine, and as well as Smite Little League. As you can see, I'm here at the headquarters, downtown Toronto. Hopefully this is where we get our gaming houses here, and get all the grinders out. Just a little background about us and what we're here. We want to support all the players that we contracted, as well as support them financially. Any commute, anything we can do for them, that's what we're about. If we can get their foot in the door in the pro scene, that's our work, and that's what we're happy about.
And we are back with Team BerGerr Is THE Support versus Team Tater Tots, whose name I can't remember. I love Tater Tots, y'all. I literally was eating Tater Tots yesterday, and I can't remember their name. Sorry, y'all. The teams have switched sides this time, so we've got BerGerr Is THE Support on the right side and Tater Tots on the left. Let's see where they go for picks and bans.
Yeah, people were apparently grilling us for not knowing how the stuff of Merlin works. Now we know. Thank you.
We tried. It's new.
So
I don't play mages.
I read about it. Yeah, I thought like after the timer goes on cooldown, that's when the actual abilities start the passive. But apparently, if you read it close enough, it says when the ability is finished casting. So it's almost immediately. Our bad. But moving on, what do you think predictions? Will they take Morrigan again for BerGerr?
I don't know, but let's that would be interesting. They definitely made some plays with it. The Morrigan was a little out of position a lot, and they maybe didn't make as many plays as they could have, but they definitely went somewhere. Let's see. We've banned the Isis first step here for Team Tater Tots. Isis is interesting. I don't know. I think Isis is definitely strong now, but I'm not sure that she's ban worthy.
I think she's ban worthy. If you played against her, you know when she hits her silence on you, she gets a damn shield. I don't want to deal with that.
I definitely think it's
that
potent. Then Team BerGerr Is THE Support bans out the Jormungandr. They had the Jorm last game, so they're banning it instead. All around goes. No surprise there. Seriously, y'all. All around, no thanks.
The ult is a hazard to deal with.
It's just too much. The Chronos. That's that.
Good two prominent bans.
Yeah, actually, the BerGerr Is THE Support is banning gods that they had on the last game, so I'm wondering what they're gonna leave open. Banning out the Najah from Team
Respect ban.
Tater Tot. Yep, a bit of a respect ban. It looks like that Najah was a little too much for them to handle.
Seems like so. Wonder what BerGerr, the support team, is looking to pick up or ban here. What do you think? Will Tater Tots pick up that Morrigan?
I don't know.
Do you think?
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know. Alright, they ban out the Merlin here.
Y'all, Nike, that new 2 is super crazy. I mean, y'all. Nike.
I mean, I never worked as I never worked in construction, so she gives me a feeling of actually working in construction. It's bulldozering people, so it works. So I know how that goes.
Yeah,
And
they pick up the
BerGerr.
Apollo now for Team BerGerr Is the Support. Or Hunbats, maybe? Hunbats was really effective for them, and the Apollo. Okay. Okay. Hunbats worked really well, and Apollo did put in work for Team Tater Tots last game, so looks like they're going to try to turn that strat back around on them.
Mm-hmm. With that said, maybe Tater Tots will look to pick up the Morrigan to counter that global pressure. I don't know if they will or not, but if they were to counter pressure, there are a lot of other options open. They can look to pick up Jing, or look to pick up Athena for support, to also aid them in the global rotation part. But let's see what Tater Tots are going to opt for going forward
Scotty!
in this match.
This game, there's a lot of gods that weren't banned last game that are that were banned last game that are open. Nike, Scotty, what else got banned last time? Thor. So either team could look to pick these up since they're open. They have had a lot of changes made, and they're scary now. And there's a Thoth again for Team Tater Tots. That worked pretty well for them last game. He did fumble a few ults, but he was definitely potent. Thoth hurts, man.
Yeah. I don't know about Thoth with the Scotty, because both of the carries having Gnosis immunity. Like, only one of them I understand for the sake of picking a pick. But probably at the end of the day, it's probably because of the comfortness of Thoth for Tater Tots mid laner. Hopefully he warmed up enough, can perform back at it again. Much better.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah,
Oh, there goes the
Scotty's
Morgan
dog.
for Team BerGerr Is the
they
Support.
are.
They got it again. So now they can do that same double Hunbats thing. They didn't actually do the double Hunbats thing too much last
As
game.
often. Yeah, exactly. I didn't.
I wanted to see more of that. That's a really potent combo. They're banning out the Erlang Shen. That's a bit of a respect ban there. Not something they want to see again. It was definitely the Erlang ults there were a few big Erlang ults in there. Geb banned from Team Tater Tots. Now we're seeing the second phase bans are looking a little the same. Circuit. I don't want a Circuit. Also, Twitch chat. I can see you now. I've opened you on
Say
my
hi,
phone.
mom, guys.
I can see y'all now, so that's cool. So if you do have something to say to us, I can't guarantee we'll respond, but I'll try. So yeah,
Hit us up.
I agree with Mr. Bunnies of Doom though. Nike and Scotty it's gonna hurt, man. Calder flying through the air at you is scary. We got a Bologna pickup on Team BerGerr Is the Support. Bologna solo, nice. Fights pretty nicely into the Nike. Not great though. Nike can interrupt the Bologna's bludgeon with her jump.
Or the two now, right? Did anyone test it?
That
There's
sounds like
the
something you
shield.
could do. But I think the
okay.
jump would probably be a little bit more confirmable. I don't know. I don't play Nike.
Yeah.
I don't play Bologna. I'm not a solo laner. But that does sound like
Bologna is
a
still-
thing that can happen. I think the Bologna into the Nike might be a little bit rough. But
Bologna is my OG girl. You can't say anything.
Yeah.
She'll do fine. She'll do just fine.
Bologna's a pretty tried and true kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's see what Team Tater Tots responds with though to this the four gods that they've already chosen. Mr. DHD Ronan, the big deal with Scotty now is that the dog flies at you and is terrifying. We've got a Kumbhakarna and a Thor. Thor is super strong now. Tater Tots has drafted a lot of gods that have gotten some pretty recent buffs and are pretty forces to be reckoned with now. Kumbhakarna's
I really like it.
some nice CC that the team can converge on, and Team BerGerr Is the Support picks up Ares last. Ares is also, I'd say the buffs to Ares might be a little bit less impactful in the grand scheme of a support Ares, but it's still
I need to
potent.
stop you right there.
Oh.
He has the highest clear in jungle.
True.
This boy can clear so fast. He's like second to Circuit, I think, at this point. Like he clears really nicely for support.
That's
Along with it, the staff of Merlin, right?
Uh-huh.
It's insane on him, right? If you
Right.
ult, you can chain them 6 times. The whole team is gonna be in shackles.
Oh, you're so right.
Don't you feel
I didn't even think about him with the items. Numbers wise,
Yeah.
the ability changes aren't too crazy, but that Staff of Murden. Oh boy, that Staff of
Imagine.
Murden. Um,
Yeah, it's gonna
DHG
hurt.
Rodin, yeah, so she may not be as good, in lane, Scotty is still about the same, but her team fight is just way more impactful with the change to the ult. But otherwise, I'm interested to see where these drafts go. Oh god, I'm dying. Team Tater Tots has drafted a lot of gods that have had recent changes and are kind of like brand new gods going on here. So I'm wondering how, Team BerGerr Is THE Support is going to play into them, and how well Team Tater Tots will take advantage of these new changes that they have. Hopefully.
Yeah. Instead of the Naja Thought combo, they pick the Kumba. It's essentially the same thing. You know, you get somebody out of the fight momentarily and look to get that 5v4
That
while the
is
thing is
very
going
true.
on.
Um,
And hopefully that they can take advantage of somebody being up in the air and try to force a fight like that, or look to kill the person who went up in the air in the first place.
mhm.
But this Tot, everything is riding on this Tot for Tater Tots. Because he's
Yep.
the make or break thing, because the Morgan for BerGerr Is THE Support has been so impactful in coming around and getting high priority targets out that Todd not being able to hit the ults and missing by a lit has a lot of impact in the late game fights. But we will see
Right.
how this game will go.
I'm interested to see also how Team BerGerr Is THE Support plays around the Ares, though. They don't have tons and tons to play off of a big Ares ult. I mean, Blona can ult on top of it. The Humbats can drop his ult, but after Ares pulls the ball in together, the Humbats pushing them all away may not be your best strat in the world there. Morgan can of course turn into Thoth or Thor or Scotty or, obviously anything she wants.
Or Ares.
Or she can turn into Ares and we can
Double
do
it.
double Ares ult stuff. But either way, they don't have tons and tons to combo on top of the Ares ult. At least not by way of big ultimates. They can certainly dish damage out, but this will be interesting. Which draft are you thinking? Which one are you loving?
I'm loving the BerGerr the Support draft
Yeah?
because if it works like last time, even the double Ares ult is gonna decimate the backliners of Tater Tots because Skadi does not have inbuilt CC immunity, nor does Thought. The first time the Ares is gonna ult, they're gonna beat it. So
Yep.
they both should get Major's blessing. If they don't, they're actually trolling and will throw the game.
Yeah, having that Morgan for the double ults is going to be pretty potent. I'm kind of liking Team Tater Tots though. I do agree that all the double ult potentials on the other team side are potent, but I think these refreshed gods, if you will, have a lot to bring to the table. And really, I'm just excited to watch to watch Calder fly across the map and
If you think
cause
about it,
murder.
she just yeets her dog
Exactly.
to the
Okay.
opposition.
We're gonna take
Right.
a hot little break here for a second, and then we'll be right back with our next match. Live. Hello, everybody, and we are back with game 2 of EU match, whose number I don't remember. I think it's C3 or C2, something like that. Tater Tots versus BerGerr Is the Support. The teams have switched sides, so BerGerr Is the Support is now the order side, and Tater Tots is the order side. BerGerr Is the Support is the chaos side. We have a quick pause here coming out at the beginning of the game. I think, if I remember correctly.
And the first pick, Nike.
Nike?
Tater Tots really wanted that first pick, Nike. That's why they switched sides. Along with it, I was gonna say something and it flew out of my mind, but we can get back into it. This pause. What do you think this came through? Like,
I
this
don't
early?
know.
Talking strats?
Well, technically they're not supposed to be using pauses for strats. So if they're pausing, somebody lost power, their house is on fire, they needed to take a pee break. I don't really know, but it shouldn't be a strats pause, that's for sure.
Nice SLL rules. Okay.
Yeah,
as we
we're
speak,
unpausing
let's
here.
unpause.
We're moving. We're shaking. Thor isn't moving actually. Nobody's really moving. Nike though is chilling like a villain over here, autoing the air with those cleave autos of scariness. Everything's scary, guys. Like I describe a
Did
lot
you watch
of
The
things. Scary.
Descendants by any chance?
No, I have not. I don't. I'm
Oh,
not a TV.
that means you don't know the song "Chilling Like a Villain." Oh my god, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Chilling like a villain. Da, da, da. It's nice.
Okay. Oh, we're pausing again, y'all.
Surrender vote.
And we're surrender voting.
Hold up.
What is
I see
happening?
Meg. I'm not saying Meg back behind the scenes did tell me she wants a shorter game. So I don't know if this is a conspiracy theory.
No, I
or
just
not.
think somebody gave us the wrong match
She
ID.
sabotaged.
I really hope they're not actually surrendering. Oh, actually, I remember. I know what it is. People are concerned about this Ares skin here. So, this Ares skin is not actually banned in the SLL, the Tier 5 Ares skin. And I'm guessing that all this pausing... No. All this pausing is because of this Ares skin, and they're trying to figure out if it's banned, if it's not, and if they should be restarting the game. So yeah, the Ares skin is available in the SLL because the skins on our ban list are banned because their effects are ambiguous and you can't maybe tell what they are. Things like what's a good one? Vaporwave Poseidon has some funky effects. Things like the Tier 5 Uller skin, whose effects can create lag and mess with people's game. Those are banned. The Tier 5 Anubis skin is banned because of the ultimate and the global emote, so you can fake the ultimate by using the global emote, and we don't want any of that nastiness. But the Ares skin, it gets really, really big, and that's really, really distracting, but in general, that's a disadvantage to the player using it, not an advantage to the other to that player or that team. So,
BerGerr
it's
Is
not banned.
Support. Starting off again, putting the support in the solo lane.
Let's hope it
Aiming
pays
to
off a
put
little
their
better
follow
this
ahead.
time.
Yeah, hopefully they can actually manage to get the blue buff with of course, the rework on Ares. That does a lot more damage to minions.
That
so hopefully
clear's
they
gonna
can
be
actually...
pretty hot. Looks like they're coming around, but Thor is right on this buff. Let's see. Looks like he's not wanting to engage on those Ares. He is scared of Ares too. I'm scared of Ares. He's a scary dude.
Usually, here what I'm seeing is Tater Tots don't know how to counter the strat coming out from BerGerr. Usually has the... If you know the support is in solo lane, you just usually give up the blue buff on that side and
it
look
looks
to
like
just go to.
It looks like Thor was more or less doing that. He kept his distance, tried to steal it with his hammer, but he wasn't gonna jump in.
Overall, early game, spending even that much time staring at the opposition is not the way to go about. There's so much more farm in the map, so he could have easily gone to mid camps or even like straight into their own red buff and do that side of the jungle and look to gank in middle lane into Morrigan, because
Agreed.
usually she doesn't get her the invisibility at level 2. There's no way she does that.
Yeah.
So maybe I could have been a potential kill there if they decided to do that.
Yeah, waiting there standing to stare at the blue buff that he had a pretty low chance of stealing was a interesting life decision. Especially, and also he took his hammer first. I think generally, I don't know about after the rework, but I think generally Thor is supposed to take his 3 first, the spin to win.
Yeah, I think
maybe
after the
I'm wrong.
rework, I just take the spin to win. It's
Yeah,
much more
because the spin to
precise
win is
than.
better now too. Also, that was a buff to that, so I'm interesting. But I guess in the context of stealing a blue buff, the hammer is better? Question mark. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thor's not a thing I play either. I'm a support main, y'all. Uh,
You never played Thor support has a support lane.
Gosh, no, I don't play like assassins in general.
It's
I,
such a shame. You're missing out on the
it's
memes.
it's guardians for me, guys.
Yeah.
And mages. That's it. Um,
Yeah.
Ares is
Right
taking his
now,
sweet time rotating back over to that left side, just farming around the map a bit. Um,
for sure.
nothing.
Looking at the skins. Did you
Skins,
see the new skins on Mixer? The new
y'all.
rotation of skins?
I didn't,
You see it?
but I love skins, guys.
Yeah,
I
it's.
really do. There aren't any.
Remember, guys.
Everyone's using
Yeah,
default skins though, which is kind
yeah.
of
They're being respectful.
lame. Or
Yeah, but
yeah.
but it's a heads up if you guys didn't check the Mixer store. The skins from before
Bit
it
of a
has been
scuffle in the mid
changed
lane
and
here.
new
We've got
skins.
Kumbakarna getting collapsed on, but Morrigan looks like she's about to
Ooh,
fall. Can we hit that auto on the Morrigan? Ah,
ooh,
get her!
what?
There goes the Morrigan down. And Hunbats is sticking around a little long too. Those Thoth autos hurt. Thoth didn't have his glyph up though, so they didn't quite do as much as they probably could have. Thor blinks in, misses the wall onto the Ares. Thor, I don't think should have wasted his blink there. He was too late for that engagement. Ares had a lot of
Yeah.
health, and Thoth had very little mana, and Thor didn't have much either.
Yeah, true. And it's into a support as well. You can't
Yeah,
rely too much to get that much of a kill as well.
definitely.
Especially counting he was not low as well.
Yeah.
That was the least.
The idea was a good one, but the stars just weren't aligned there. The execution wasn't there. Let's see. Back over to this right side. Nike, Bologna, just duking it out. It looks like Bologna is being pretty dominant in the lane. Them getting that early blue buff and gave her a good bit of control over in this right side of the map from the Ares being over there. Nike struggling.
Hambas doing the regular route, in doing the blue buff into speed, and probably he looked back to finish off his boots probably soon. But other than that, it's still a chill lane. Supports are heavily being around mid from super early in the game. I like that, but I don't know. As a mid laner, I feel kinda you're stealing my farm
Yeah,
in a way.
I can
Feel
see that.
invaded.
But I do dig it generally. One thing though, because of it. Oh no, never mind. I lied. But oh, Kumbakarna in a bad spot. This Ares ulting him,
Ooh,
and the
meanwhile,
Humbat's ult. That's a lot of ults for one little Kumba. But he falls. Pretty expected. Ares blinked there, and he ulted,
Uh-huh.
and Humbat's ulted for the Kumba.
that was for sure. That was great awareness by Ares. He's been farming those backhams with his upgraded 3, so he's been getting more additional farm compared to the Kumba who has been only in lane and not farming those backhams, which enabled him to hit 5. And he immediately recognized that Kumbakarna would not get beads. There's no way he has support, and gets the easiest kill of
Yep.
the BerGerr Is THE Support's life.
Yeah, Kumba
And
wasn't level
meanwhile,
5
while
there
that
yet.
fight was happening, in the solo lane, Bellona soloed the Nike as
Oof.
well. Ooh, aggressively diving into the Skadi, which has to spend the beads, and that's about it. She'll live with 0 HP. But knowing that beads is down by Skadi, there's so much power play potential by this Hambas or even the Ares. As I said, double Ares ult.
Apollo's ulting down for this Kumbakarna. It looks like he's caught out yet again. Kumba still isn't level 5 yet. Oh, no. Apollo goes actually onto the Scotty, who was
Skadi
trying to push out a little bit. She was pushing out a little bit, probably with the hope of maybe helping her support. But she just had no health there, man. You gotta get out. She didn't use her ult
I
either.
thought she already left.
I assumed she was gonna leave as well. She didn't use her ult. And either opportunity to try to get herself out or get herself a kill. So I guess it's still up, which is nice, but she might have been able to do a little bit more. Kumba's still being pretty aggressive here, though, despite being down a level. I mean, Thoth is here, but... And Kumba is level 5, so he can ult now, but... Apollo and Ares have
Skadi
health.
just overstayed her extender.
Yes.
She should count her lucky stars because usually can't expect to survive in such a situation.
Not twice in a
Um,
row, that's for sure.
And that's yeah. And Kumba is playing so far out from his team. He's not really around his team during these rotations, and that makes BerGerr Support's team to pick him out much more easily. And that's why we see him like get isolated most of the time. So if he realizes what he's doing and he can like play more around the team, even rotate like more defensively. Which that said,
Thor going in
TP's
here.
into
But
and
Morgan
Thor
and
goes-
Humbats are ready for him. Humbats with the big ult to respond and chasing him down.
And he
But Thor
jumps
is
in.
able to blink away. Let's see if Humbats gets punished for his overextension though. Ares
yeah.
ults.
And Thor ulted up in the air. Will he actually land?
Oh.
I don't think
I
so.
didn't even see that.
Yeah, he's defensive.
No, that
Meanwhile,
was
on the
actually
other
Morgan
side,
turned into Thor. Kumbhakarna, but they riff onto this Morgan. She goes down. Thor sticks around a little bit too long, or Thoth sticks around a little bit too long, and Ares starts to burn him down with those flames. But Thor
both
is
knowing
still
each other.
here, saving his life. Wow, that was
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah. Meanwhile, that fight was happening. Ares solo ulted the Thought to burn his beats. The next encounter that they're gonna have, they know the Thought's beats are 100% down, and they might look to pick up a kill. Along with it, we're getting close to that 10-minute, 12-minute range where teams can actually pick up a Gold Fury out after advantageous fights.
We've got
And
Ares
then
and rotating onto the Scotty and the chains,
And
the
she-
fire, the Apollo. Scotty falls.
it's too much. She even spended her beads, and she still get buried to the grave, unfortunately.
Scotty using her beads there was interesting. A lot of times you can use your beads to immune the Ares cripple, and then you can dash out. Scotty doesn't have a dash though. I'm not really. You can definitely unslow yourself, but I'm not sure that was your that's really gonna save you in a 2v1 as a
That's
dashless
what I was
character.
talking about. Yeah, that's what I was talking about in the draft phase when they picked Ares, and when Tater Tots had two carries that with no CC immunity ult, or even a dash. Like Thought's dash is great and all, but it's how to say it's weird. Like sometimes if you like mispress it, you will just go to the other side. There's so many things that can go wrong with the Tosh dash.
Been there,
Personally speaking,
done that.
Yeah. You can
The number
dash
of
right into the
times
enemy
I
too.
have dashed into the enemy team instead of dashing away from the enemy. Too many to count.
Too many. BerGerr supports jungles recognizing this opportunity onto Scotty, knowing her beads are done. I think she's actually gonna die and get ganked here.
Scotty got
Is-
ulted. Big ult.
Yeah.
Ares ult, Humbats ult, and Scotty falls.
And Thor is ulting on the other end. Will he actually connect into this? Nah.
Too
he
far
misses
away looks like to
everyone in range.
land on anyone. From the look of it
Yeah.
to me.
Good initiation by BerGerr support, realizing their strengths and played off of it.
What I
knowing
think
that
was
Scotty's
unfortunate
picking up.
there was that Tater Tots was in this jungle and they were around, but they were too far from their Scotty. Scotty also was pushed out away from tower, and I would assume that Tater Tots was aware that they were there, that the rest of Team BerGerr Is THE Support was there, but they don't have the word coverage, so it is possible that they didn't know that they were there and couldn't tell Scotty, hey, there's a bunch of people in your jungle, get back under your tower.
Yep. Even a little bit like getting out an inch out of his tower would have been death sentence for the Scotty without no beads. So exactly what's that happened. And plus, seeing the awards on the map, BerGerr supports team have plenty of wards in the duo side, covering majority of the area, making them.
But Tater Tots has just a few centered around mid lane mostly. But I think Scotty needs to be warding herself, and I know a lot of ADCs choose not to ward because they're like, oh, that's not my job, so my support should ward for me. But when your support is wholly out of the lane and rotating, you gotta be a big girl. You gotta put up your own wards, especially when she's getting caught out this much. She really could use some.
Yeah, for
Kumbhakarna's
sure.
trying to rotate in onto this Apollo, but Apollo knows he's there. Back to these wards, this ward coverage, and Kumbhakarna's level 7 and blinkless, so Apollo just walks away.
Yeah. The interesting aggression there by Tater Tots support ended up accomplishing nothing.
I think it was a good idea. Apollo was relatively caught out, but the level disadvantage is such that they can't do anything, and Kumba doesn't have tons of tank built. Well, I guess he's got that sovereignty, so he would have been able to take a few hits, but Apollo's got full control to just leave if he wants to.
Yeah.
Thoth has to burn his beads there, looks like, to avoid the Ares. I'm guessing he was thinking there was an Ares ult, but this is actually the Ares ult.
Ooh, baited
And
them in.
then
And
the Hun Bats,
a massacre.
and Kumba
And
manages
Thor's
to get the
ulting.
mess
I don't
off.
think it'll connect.
Thor does connect the ult. Hopefully, maybe he can save his Kumbhakarna.
I don't think so.
No.
He's down.
If Kumbhakarna had
Unfortunate.
managed to get a few more steps under that tower and been a little bit more under the tower such that the team would have had to walk under tower and take tower shots to hit Kumba, they might have been able to at least pick up a kill, but Kumba was dead to rights there. And now it's BerGerr Is the Support. It's just going to pull this Gold Fury, more or less uncontested. Scotty's going to try to poke her head around, but I don't see her stealing this. And no
She
avail,
doesn't.
and now she's way too close to them, and they're going to try to chase her down.
I don't
Not
think
gonna
so.
chase
They're gonna
too hard,
leave her
though.
right alone. They're
Yep.
gonna. Last time, if you saw last game, that chase ended up like costing them the Gold Fury. That
Very
expense. TPS went down, and the tier 1 dual lane tower also went down. Doing that sort of a chase is not really prominent because usually after dumping every single ability that you have on the Gold Fury, you don't have any to hit your opponents in a way. So it's mostly advised after burning the Gold Fury to back off. You don't start a fight. I see this happen all the time in like ranked, even like in casual settings. It's a common knowledge. Once you burn an objective, just look to back off completely.
Oh,
Like there's
Nike's
no point in
getting
staying.
messed with over on the right hand side. Big damage.
Yeah.
Nike's forced to ult and leave, but she's out. That big ass ult shield keeping her alive. Team Tater Tots is looking around the Pyromancer. Looks like they might want to try and pull it, but with so many people alive, they're not going to take that risk. See, big damage onto the Hun Bats, but he's jumping out. He's not having it. Bellona's over on this
Bellona's
right side.
Chasing
And,
all the way, finds nothing.
but she's...
Hambas will most likely back.
Yep.
Here,
Humba's
the top
gone.
beats are down, but Ares has Blink ult available, right? Yeah, so if they kept timers, they would know to Blink ult this Thought immediately and take him out of the fight.
Mhm.
But I think they will miss that window of opportunity here because everybody back. And speaking of, Morgan is ganking Tolo lane, and Nike will end up falling here most likely. Yes, Eagles Rally connects onto the Nike, whose ult was already expended a minute before. Now obviously was down. Great gank by the mid laner of BerGerr Support.
That's...
This Morgan is doing so much
Oh,
for
yeah.
BerGerr Support.
We've got Scotty and Apollo fighting over on the right side. Scotty looks like she's burned her ult already, but Ares comes in to bail out Apollo, and now
Apollo
Apollo's
ult.
ulting down. There
And
goes
she
Scotty.
gets it.
She did put some good damage onto Apollo, and I think if that had remained a 1v1 situation, Scotty might have had a chance there, but Ares is a little bit too much for her.
Yeah, most of the ADCs or the top pick ADCs have dashes, so they can pick and choose their fights. But
That's for sure.
ADCs like Scotty, who has no, like, I would not say no mobility, but because her ice gives her some sort of mobility.
That's like
increase.
no mobility.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, it gives a movement speed increase, right? Oh, to her. And along with it, ADC like Scotty that does not have like a dash is you have to really be aware of your map and be present like at the moment to see like are you in the right position or not. Speaking of, we got Oz coming out. I guess they're talking about the strat of
No,
what's
they're
going
not.
wrong.
Strat pausing. Sweet. They're not allowed to not encourage such things. No, actually Scotty has DC'd.
Aw.
Aw,
See, we're
that's so
trying to keep this
sad.
competitive, okay?
um,
Why are you DC now?
one
He
thing,
rage quit after that gang.
I
That's
don't
what happened.
think that's what
I got it.
happened. One thing that's actually of interest to me though is Bellona has this Pridwin for her third item, and Pridwin, the shield it gives you is based on your protections, the damage it does is based on your protections. Her only protections is that Berserker shield and the Warrior's Blessing. I'm a little interested to see that Pridwin so early. I think Pridwin's definitely a good idea, especially on something like Bellona that ults in and then chains a lot off of her ult. You know, you can hit a lot of people with that big explosion from the shield, but I don't think so early is maybe the call. But you know what? It's working. So
I like it.
It's
I like
working.
the Pridwin
She's
or
up
the
2-0.
Bellona.
I like the Pridwin.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I think I would have waited until you had another proper protections item. That's all.
I think because she's ahead, she can splurge on some items which
Mhm.
are kind of out of her budget.
Right.
But Pridwin in general,
Pridwin actually
like
isn't
her
that
ult is
expensive.
almost, isn't it like 1,400? It's kind of expensive for an early game item because it scales off of having previous items compared to like starter items.
Right.
So Scotty comes back here, but
Got this.
Pridwin, as I was talking about, as soon as Bellona ults, the shield comes back.
Mhm.
And the area that, if the Bellona gets a great ultimate in between all the team members of Tater Tots, that shield slow is actually gonna be massive.
Yeah.
Because Tater Tots might have to even beat, especially if they go for the Tot, they might even have to beat the slow, like initially. And with that comes the cost of Ares, like double Ares ult and the Humbat ult. This Tot is not having a good day in this match, I can tell you that much.
They have a lot of ways to blow those beads. That is for sure. One thing that's also interesting to me though is Nike's choice of High the Nemean Lion. So, High the Nemean Lion, Bellona is a more or less auto attack based character, that's for sure, and it does have some potency in protecting from that. Apollo is also scary, especially if he ults across, and the Hide of the Nemean Lion can keep you alive, but to have Hide of the Nemean Lion, you need to have health built. You really do. Like, if you're gonna take those hits and reflect that damage, you gotta have the health to take the hits. And she doesn't have that.
Yeah.
I really am not seeing this being an item built so early. I'm seeing, from both solo laners, items that I think are good in this situation, but probably a little premature.
Yeah. In my opinion, I would have opted for a much more tanky option that is in form of Midgardian Mail. That helps slow the autos. It also has the health that you were talking about. And overall, the stat for value, I think it's much more higher for Midgardian Mail, at least in this stage, because it slows the Bellona's autos a little bit compared to Nemean, because Bellona does not have crit right now. There's no way she's gonna like take much more than she can give. But at the same time, she's auto it nonetheless. So it's not completely wasted.
Scotty's getting collapsed on again over on this left side. She uses her Sanctuary Aegis. It's called Aegis now, y'all. And to try and protect herself, but Ares lands that chain and it keeps
Thor
her
is up
alive.
in the
Thor
air, looking to
lands
connect. He connects into the Ares, but might have to back off here. This poor Scotty is not getting a break. Kumba dashes into the Apollo, misses the route, and is all the way back in isolation from the rest of his team. He might end up falling here.
Yep.
The mess connects, but the thought was hitting on the mess. Why you do that? You need to be aware of not hitting the mess, but he somehow
But Kumba
gets
does
off.
get out.
Oh, Apollo pulling off the
Thought
play, and the thought connects the ult. It hits the ult. Apollo is up in the air. Will he actually land? I
Kumba's
think
still
he'll go on
alive
the
here,
Thoth.
but Apollo takes down the Thoth in the back. Kumba lives through all that chaos, and Hunbats falls to the Thoth ult. That was pretty nice, a pretty okay exchange. Maybe not ideal, but Thor is chasing down this Ares. Can he get the kill? Looks like
He
he's not going to try to
probably-
fight
yeah,
it.
he's not gonna-
Morgan's going to
Yeah.
come around here, and
If
like
you ask
Thor's-
me, I'd rather my support die than my carry die.
Oh, yeah.
And Thought was kind of important there, like putting him way behind. Like he's already like 2 levels down to this Morgan, who's been like efficiently being in lane and rotating, getting these mid camps compared to the Thor. Compared to the Thought. So
Sure.
Thought should be really careful and be mindful in his farming right now because he'll be a really crucial component for Tater Tots to go forward essentially in this match.
I do think though that Tater Tots made kind of the best of a bad situation. We got to remember that fight started with everyone collapsing on the Scotty. Scotty went down right away, but Tater Tots did manage to pull out a kill. I know Thoth fell, but like at least Goomba didn't also go down. I think
No,
that's the best spin we
they
can
could
put
have
on that
done.
story.
Yeah. And still, after all these initiations into Scotty, we still don't see wards from Tater Tots. Just
That's a
ward, your
very
Scotty is
good
getting
point.
your
Scotty
Scotty is getting jammed in tier
Yeah.
2. With that said, they're looking to start a fight into the Ares here. I don't think they're gonna go forward with it.
Minions
This
were
quarrel
pushed
is
up
gonna happen.
such enough on the left-hand side that left-hand tier 1 went down, which is pretty cool. That's Morgan with a big stun, and she has to beat an Aegis out. Looks like
Again,
she's gonna get out
they're
scot-free
looking-
there.
Yeah,
Apollo's
Ares ult
pulling
connects.
Apollo's pulling the primal, and Ares is murdering the Scotty.
Yeah.
The Scotty's
That-
just not being effective this game. Her team
No
isn't
way.
doing enough to peel for her, and she's just getting too caught out. Thoth is
also
caught
gonna
out here
hit
now
floor
by
here,
the
yeah.
Ares chains. Those chains are just really potent. And in comes Kumbhakarna, but it's too little too late. His Thoth has already fallen.
Yeah.
And now we're...
Everything is hitting the floor. Like, everything is going wrong. Anything that you can think of is going all the way south to Tater Tots. It's mainly because one small component called wards. If they only had wards in their own jungle, they would have foreseen this possible rotation coming from Ares and Humbats into their study. They could have completely avoided that. I think Tater Tots have a lot to take away from these two games, and eventually they're going for the Phoenix itself this early, and this is a really
Looks like they
ambitious
can
take on
push
this.
it, but it's working. They take down the Nike, and Apollo's doing a pretty okay job of just sticking on that Phoenix. Thoth is trying to defend with that ult, but he hesitated and he didn't launch it fast enough. So he wasn't able to get big damage that could have potentially scared Team BerGerr Is the Support off of that Phoenix.
Whoever called that Phoenix call was actually great. Like,
Yeah.
it was one of the it was a really good call that push. Now Tater Tots are facing with a vulnerability, right? The base is wide open even though they have two towers protecting them. But still, eventually BerGerr Is the Support will end up taking Fire Giant and be pushing down these towers soon or later. And slowly their character... Okay, I just saw this, okay? Morrigan got Boomba's
Oh
mask.
boy. I actually
What a
like
ma-
Bumba's mask on Morrigan quite a bit. I think she plays
Yeah?
it pretty well, and the movement speed, especially through that stealth, is really powerful. And yeah,
And
I
plus
like
the
it.
sneaking she likes to do as the character she is, and intrusive playing it as a sneaky character. It pays off because
And
you can
since
get
she-
into nooks and crevices.
Yeah, also since she's built the Book of Thoth, she's got plenty of damage there. So she does lose some with the Bumba's mask, but the Book of Thoth is gonna be a big to make up for it. We got a big bite over here in the right lane. Ares with a big ult, but two Beezes to keep
Eagles
it
rallies,
away.
doesn't connect, and Humbats have to ult that. Will he actually do anything? Okay, Thor goes up in the air. Will he actually land? Here's the question. He lands into the tier 2 tower in solo lane. Double Thor ult and takes the life of the Morrigan. And Thoth also goes down in the process.
And then
for Tater
actual
Tots.
Thor falls.
The real Thor hits the ground. I think that's the fight because I don't think Nike and Kumba will be able to kill the
Yeah.
Loda and Ares. That's just how
I
it
think
is.
that fight was a little bit. They definitely got some good kills, Team BerGerr Is the Support, but I think they really needed to be taking that tower. Objectives, guys. They do win the games. They definitely got the kills though, and they can just come back around to take the tower with the minions pushed up now. Team Tater Tots isn't in a position to defend it. Scotty's over here caught out on the left-hand side. Apollo just ripping those autos into her and chaining the Odysseus's bow onto her, and now he's ulting in on her while she tries to back. Scotty's got her sanctuary, but it's not enough.
That's not enough to stay alive. Bonzi is actually playing much more aggressive than we saw last game on his Chronos, which he was less not confident. But right now he's like really flexing on this Scotty. Along with it, his team is like up 16k.
Got a nice little scuffle over on
so
the right-hand side, pushing down this right-hand Phoenix.
I think this is a mistake by BerGerr Is the Support overstaying their welcome. The support and solo shouldn't have been there. They will probably cause
Yep,
so
they're
much.
too tanky to push down the tower, but Humbats is trying to backdoor split push into this Titan onto that Thoth. Looks like he got scared out, but
Ares might die here, but Kumba, even though they had the what's happening? It's all over the place. Alright. Anyway, when there was only Ares and Bellona against 3 people from Tater Tots, still they were managing to chunk them and get like crucial health bars down.
Right, and well, because Ares and
weird.
Bellona are so tanky, and they had those juke shoes on, and they weren't taking too much damage. They were able to stall long enough for Morgan to come around the backside. And Humbats is just split pushing. He's taking down this other tower, so now if they can take this Phoenix, the Titan will have less enough health that they could come back for a second round and take it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Apollo and
They have to
Bellona are
wait.
still sticking on this. Looks like Thoth is not gonna ult.
Yeah.
Thoth
Nah,
holding these ults.
they-
Last game he wasn't holding them and he was missing them, and now he's just not using them.
Yeah, I think you have to really, again, as I said, pick and choose your fights for Tater Tots because you're kind of behind now. It's 420, y'all. Smoke. Anyway, with that said, But as I said, like they're so ahead. BerGerr Support, they're so far ahead. They can literally do anything and just win the game off of it, and that's what we're seeing. The plays that we're seeing, they're playing far up without minions. They can't afford to do that, and Tater Tots can't. And they don't have the damage to even
Ares just
kill
blinked
the
in there, but he didn't ult.
have
That was
ult.
interesting. But
Probably.
he's tanky enough to
Still
take a couple Phoenix
chunking.
shots, and
Just
he's
thought
doing
he
all the
might
damage.
even almost died to Ares support right there, and they popped the frenzy to the Apollo to take the
And he's just
second
railing
Phoenix
down on
of the
those
game.
Phoenixes, and now he's railing down this Kumbhakarna, who's only level 14. Ares is level 18, and Ares is level 14. That's
Blink
oof.
coming out. Maybe Apollo will hit the ground here. Yeah, overstayed way too much. A shutdown, greatly much needed money and experience for the start.
Ares
was
also
behind
overstaying
Philip.
his welcome, and he gets taken down. And the team BerGerr Is the Support is overtaking that Primal Fury though. With 2 Phoenix down, Primal Fire minions, those win games.
I don't know about you, but this Morgan having the freest game. All she's doing is going around lanes, pushing them lanes. Not even in one of those fights that took place on solo side.
But then when she does show
was
up to the
there.
fights,
Oh,
she's very effective. She's been transforming into
Yeah.
this Thor and getting big Thor ults. I think that's most of what we've been seeing, but I feel like I've seen a couple of her turning to Humbats as well, which has been pretty effective.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of global presence on these teams between the Apollo and the Thor. Morgan's got some decently free reign. Looks like
The only way I've seen Tater Tots come back is somehow the BerGerr Support team just groups up perfectly into a full charge dot ult, and they can finally maybe in that scenario turn this game around. But right now, I don't see any hope for Tater Tots coming back into this one.
yeah,
They
no,
have gone too deep.
this is gonna be a rough fight. They're gonna have to play super defensively. The only way that they come back from this game is if this is an hour-long game, and even then, it's gonna be rough. Let's take a look at those graphs. Actually, according to the graphs, the deficit is huge, almost 20k golden XP. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's tons. That's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. It's really difficult to come back.
Pumbaa is
like
out
that.
of position. He shouldn't have been there in the first place. There's no point. Like giving another death to the opposition is not the way to go about right now.
Definitely.
You need all of your team in the most pristine condition as you can get, because the support, like when your team is losing, support is the one getting the major blow up from it. In terms of XP, in terms of itemization, and also tankiness, because if the carries from the other team, Nike jumps in, maybe
Tater
she can go
Tots
for the
steals
steal. Tater
the
Tots
Fire Giant with the Thoth ult. That's
connects.
really big. They kept him off the Fire Giant. Nike does fall there, but let's see if Thor can get out. If Thor can get out here, this isn't a totally lost cause, especially with Scotty split pushing this left-hand tier 2 here. It looks like Thor is out, actually. That's huge. It's not a huge loss to BerGerr Is the Support, though. They still have all 5 members of their team, and they're not all split up like the Scotty and Thor are now, so they are just going to push down this mid lane.
Even though Tater Tots got fire, they have 1 member missing compared to BerGerr Support, with them being far ahead. Morgan pushed way far up and took way much poke than intended. Now I think they're running into the Titan, looking for the end, popping the frenzy. I think this game, that's if they focus.
That was too much. They Team BerGerr Is the Support was like, we'll get the Fire Giant and we'll make the safe choice and we'll get the Fire Giant. We'll go for it. But then even without the Fire Giant, though, it just wasn't enough. Team Tater Tots was too far at a disadvantage to be able to defend against this. Most of them didn't even have a full, most of them didn't even have a 6th item on Team BerGerr's or Team Tater Tots, and Team BerGerr Is the Support. A lot of people had already, some people had already been switching out their boots. They were just too far gone.
Too far itemization in terms of gold, even levels. It's really rough for Tater Tots, but it's a positive experience for Tater Tots to take away his team. To look into how to tank and how to leave, how to bait. I think these 2 games, if they look back and learn from what they have done, they'll come back definitely a stronger team, mainly because of the draft that they're picking. They're picking like kind of new recent comp. If they can just make it work, it'll really be good.
Agreed.
But it's just getting it to work essentially is the first.
I think another thing that was Tater Tots' downfall was, of course, other than the lack of wards, y'all need wards. Okay? Please. Like
Yeah,
actually
yours.
it does look like they placed quite a few wards, but none of them were where they needed to be. They needed to be on that left-hand side for the Scotty. They were mostly around solo and mid, which wasn't where the wards were as needed. But they need more wards, y'all. More wards, guys.
Yeah, this
Um
Scotty was getting dove in the tier 2 of their own side of the
the
map. Like, it's impossible. Like, you need maps in the side of your map.
mhm.
Like, that's no excuse. Doesn't matter.
I think another part of their downfall, though, is I think at one point or another they started to realize just how far behind they were, and I think they might have, they started to see it as a lost cause, and I think that I'm gonna just guess that the team's comms started to fall apart. We've all been there before, where
Yeah.
everyone the morale is
Not
low, and
helping.
you're not gonna surrender, but what do you do? Everyone's
Yeah.
not sure, not seeing how they come back from that. But otherwise, congrats to BerGerr Is the Support for your 2-0 win. Some hot plays. That first game was definitely very back and forth and pretty crazy, but that second game, BerGerr Is the Support definitely showed that they were the superior team in this case.
Yeah, for sure. And Tater Tots, hopefully they can take away massive information from what they have played and against how BerGerr Support played, and hopefully next time when they were about to face off them, they'll be a much stronger and a better team.
That was a big time learning experience. Let's so our next match we're going to be going into is actually a pre-recorded match that's got Frog and Lux casting it, and this is an EU match A4, I believe, between teams. Let me find it. I have it somewhere. Team uh we have no, who is our coach? Team who is our coach? And Team Brexit. And we pre-recorded this one last earlier this week on Monday because the patch was supposed to happen on Tuesday and we would have lost all of these replays. But I can tell you right now from watching it, it's a real barn burner. You're going to want to stick around. It's some hot stuff. But for now, me and Sweet are going to pop out and we'll get that other match planned for you. Have a good one, and we'll enjoy the next match.
Ta-ta.
Hey guys, Nick here, one of the founders of Oceanus Gaming. Just a little intro, a quick video about ourselves and what we're all about. Shout out to the other two founders, Khan, aka Sean, and Alex, aka Tater Tots. Just a quick little video on everything that we're about, who we are, and the org. Shout out to the Smite guys as well, the Combine, and as well as Smite Little League. As you can see, I'm here at the headquarters, downtown Toronto. Hopefully this is where we get our gaming houses here, and get all the grinders out. Just a little background about us and what we're here. We want to support all the players that we contracted, as well as support them financially. Any commute, anything we can do for them, that's what we're about. If we can get their foot in the door in the pro scene, that's our work, and that's what we're happy about.
Welcome to week 2 of the SLL matches. Here we have who is our coach on the left side and Brexit on the right side. Those are the teams' names. Gonna jump into picks and bans here for game 1. I don't know anything about these players. Haven't gotten a chance to watch any of their scrims or anything about them. It's possible that they've scrimmed before, likely even. So it's possible we're going to see some picks and bans that are targeted towards these teams. But I have no idea.
These are both EU squads, correct?
Yes, both EU squads.
Do you expect to see any differences in the playstyle or the picks compared to the NA squads that have played earlier this week?
I think we definitely could see some small things. But with how we're really looking at one meta now in the SPL, how that's all come together, and allow a lot of teams watch that and base off of that in their respective region. I think we'll probably see most of the same, at least the top picks. Right here we see Merlin and King Arthur band.
Nothing special
Not
here.
surprised at all in the Merlin, but the King Arthur, not typically a band we see at the top levels anymore. But here at this level, he can definitely be sort of a pub stomp pick.
Yeah, definitely. He's his interaction with Glass Shield is just always like gonna be one of the strongest interactions in the games. When you have 8 damaging abilities, you're able to proc it that well. It can be difficult
Absolutely.
for players who are new in their team environment to have the conversation and the call outs necessary to be able to deal with that amount of healing.
Absolutely. We don't see him picked up at the top level. Wow, I gotta stop myself. A Daji ban coming out. So that's might be what we've seen, is that these teams may have scrimmed each other, and Brexit may have a mean Daji up their sleeve. So that's
Yeah,
the
that
kind of bans that I was talking about.
yeah, that definitely looks like a target ban. Definitely not a character that's picked a lot. She fills a strong role in comps that like to burn beads, and she also
Sure.
transitions very well into the late game
Hmm.
from the assassin role. So it's just probably one of those target bans, like you mentioned.
Yeah, really interesting on that. See, I feel like Daji is of the target ban variety. Daji is a particularly easy character to play into. If you're really worried about that pick, as opposed to wasting a ban on her, I feel like you could definitely draft around CC immunity as opposed to using a ban.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point there. CC immune ultimates in the mid lane and the jungler usually perform well against Dashi. We have a Chronos first pick here. My guidance instinct is to say it's going to the dual lane. It's definitely one of the strongest hunter characters we have right now.
For sure. Kronos, he has a little potential in the mid. Been seeing a lot more of him in the dual lane, because dual lane has been seeing a lot more solo play, seeing some supports in the solo lane, allowing the dual lane to just get really high up in those levels, which Kronos thrives on. But we see an immediate lock-in of Geb after the Kronos pick, and then they take a minute and they pick Ao Kwang. Ao Kwang is another one of those stompy characters like King Arthur that we might see have more success at this level, but not necessarily up top.
I also like him into the Chronos pick. His ability to get off that like damage that kind of sneaks up onto you with his gradual auto attacks. When those dragons start proccing onto you, the damage can be kind of sudden. So it may be a way to eliminate this Chronos before he's able to get his ultimate off.
Sure, absolutely. Looks like they're hovering the Mercury, which has a little bit of the global pressure, and that's always
That's an
something you
interesting
want.
pickup into the Geb here, because typically Mercuries tend to like to run crit. They like to eliminate enemies quickly, and Geb's
That's
passive will
true.
also make it harder for him to be able to eliminate the tanks of the team.
Absolutely true. Looks like they do decide to go into it. And that's obviously not the biggest deal, as Geb isn't the one that Mercury is usually focusing. But definitely something to think about. And then we see the Chiron, likely Chiron mid here. But
I'd
that
agree.
looks like 3 auto attack based characters there in their first 3 picks. I would be extremely surprised if Brexit don't pick up a Fafnir ban here.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They're also seem to be highly invested in this late game tower push objective team fight, as
Absolutely.
opposed to team fight. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they fall behind, if they're able to make the game go long enough for their team to be effective.
Yeah, that's a great point. Chiron, Kronos, and Mercury all tend to be sort of late game characters. Chiron, I would maybe more of a mid game character, but he's definitely not someone I would describe as someone with like the real innate potential to carry a game. And normally I would say you pick 2 sort of passive carry roles, a carry and a mid, and then you pick an aggressive jungler to sort of make up for that. But having their 3 damage roles be sort of later game characters, I'm really interested, especially with Ao Kwang being a really snowbally character. I think there might be some danger here.
Yeah, and I think Brexit notices that as they pick it to Poseidon. Poseidon, a character that's really well known for his level 5 fight. Once he gets Kraken online, especially in a team comp where you have an Outquang, where you're tempted to want to get beads to avoid the execute on his ult, being able to get those Krakens off without having to worry about Aegises or like return damage from a very late game comp can be very deadly for the level 5 fight.
Fantastic point. The only thing that worries me right now is whether or not Poseidon is gonna be able to walk up and pressure in that 2v2 mid fight with the Geb. Geb is known to have not a ton of pressure, and not only does he not have pressure, he doesn't have really much setup for the Poseidon outside of a blink ult, right? And so early game, assuming they pick, a Fafnir would definitely give them, and it looks like Fafnir wasn't
Yeah,
banned
Fafnir
instead of
got
the
through.
Klumba. So a Fafnir would give the Chiron and the Fafnir pressure in that mid lane, but there are a ton of other supports as well that would do it, and that might be the key that they need. But that may end up backfiring on them and giving Alquang gank opportunities. So I'm not sure how that's going to go.
Dare I say, shades of rival of the past. We don't know this Geb is a support. We could see the Geb solo coming out here.
That's a very good point. We could even see the Ao Kwong solo
Indeed.
come out here. That has not been seen in a while. Like we said, we have not seen anything from these teams in the past. So if they're gonna pull out any spicy picks, we're gonna be just as surprised as you are. Talking about the bans, looks like they banned. I'm really surprised by the bans on who is our coach's side. Shibalanke gets banned, even though I feel like he had a really hard drop off after the stun was lost on his ultimate.
Yeah, I haven't seen him be played at all in either this league or the other league that I compete in. It's just, it seems like it's a character that was normally picked for the stun on his ult. He still has a lot of like factors in his ult that make team fights hard to manage. You're not able to see your teammates. It can clog up comms. So I do think like at a level like this, where especially early on in the season, where your communication, your comms aren't necessarily on point,
Hmm.
the darkness can actually sway a team fight pretty well. So I think it's a viable ban.
Yeah, absolutely. It may be something that their team plays and they struggle with in particular. I am not a big fan of the Athena. I mean, look, having double global pressure with the Mercury on the Athena, that's never going to be a bad thing. But the Athena taunt doesn't have any big setup from it. The best thing you
Exactly.
have is the Chiron ult, and that takes 3 shots, and the first of which takes the entire duration of the Athena ult. Not to mention, they picked Bologna, a fourth auto attack based character, and I don't see a Fafnir. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. I definitely would have liked to see the Fafnir come here as well. Um, it seems like they're all inning on the ability to be able to win a team fight and then push something after the fact. But if the team fights early do
Hmm.
not go their way, they're in for a rough control. They don't have a
Yep,
very strong defense, it looks like. So if they're in a position where they're getting pushed under their towers, they don't have any of those big mage ultimates that could sway a team fight.
definitely. Especially if this Ao Kwang gets fed, they could be looking for a bad time. All right, we're gonna hop into the game here and see whether we see a Geb in the solo lane or a Sobek in the solo lane, and we'll be right back.